Okay, so hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or like, welcome if you're new. This box right here might just be the craziest thing I've ever added to my living room. It's the XGIMI Horizon Ultra 4K Smart Projector, and right now it's not only $450 off, but it also comes with two unexpected extras. A premium floor stand worth at least $100 and an $80 4K Google TV stick from Homatics. And get this thing already has Android TV built in, so why are they giving you another streaming stick? Are they trying to hide something, or is this just an insane deal? Either way, it's a serious price drop, and I've reviewed tons of projectors including the Horizon Pro, but this one really surprised me. Let me show you why. Okay, so first things first, what do you even get inside the box? When you open it up, the whole experience immediately feels premium, almost like opening a Apple product. Now, taking it out, this projector isn't like super tiny portable, but it's not a giant monster either. It weighs about 11.5 pounds or 5.2 kilos and 8.8 inches deep. So it's a decent size, fits nicely on a table or a stand. It has this cool natural design with eco-friendly leather and flow cover fabric, which just makes it feel super premium and stunning. It's a device that truly looks good even when it's not in use. On the bottom, there's this little screw hole that's actually really useful. It means you can easily attach it to like a ceiling mount or a tripod, or if you want to put it somewhere specific. In this case, we've received the floor stand, which is fantastic. Okay, now let's take a look at the back. We've got the power button right here. Then there's a audio input, so you can plug in headphones or an old audio system, I guess. There's also an optical out port. You get two HDMI inputs, which is pretty handy, especially since I have the Sonos eARC. Plus it has two USB 2.0 inputs. Now take a note, these are USB 2.0s, not the faster 3.0 ports. And we've got a LAN connection if you want to use a wired internet connection. And then we have the power input where you plug it in. On the front you can clearly see a beautiful grille, and behind this are two 12-watt speakers, and they are powered by Harman Kardon. So you know, good brand, good sound. And actually, another super cool design detail here is that the front speaker grille actually doubles as a motorized lens cover. So when you turn the projector on, it automatically slides down to reveal the lens. And then when you turn it off, it slides back up to protect it from dust. That's a really premium touch you don't see very often. You'll also find the user guide, you know, for like reading if you want to. And then the power cord, the power brick, which is a good size, not tiny, and of course the remote control itself. That's pretty much it. Simple, right? Now the design of the remote control also feels really premium, and the buttons have a nice touch to it. Okay, so one of the best parts of this whole deal is that you get their premium floor stand for free. This isn't just some flimsy tripod, it's a solid, well-designed stand that usually costs a good chunk of change on its own. And it even has hidden cable management for a super clean look. And setting it up is actually really straightforward. First, grab the base from the stand and open it up by twisting it from right to left. Next, grab the adapter and flip it to the label side. Weave the plug side of your projector's power cord through the top of the base and the connector side through the small hole. Grab the threader, it's a small tool that helps, and attach it to the cord. Slide the cord all the way through until it comes out on the top, right by the gimbal. Connect the rod to the base, making sure the gimbal faces towards the middle. Finally, place the Horizon Ultra projector right into the gimbal and lock it in. You can then adjust the knob to fix the angle exactly how you want it, so you can face it upwards, downwards, and you can move the stand up and down. Then just plug it in. Boom! Now you have a beautiful, stable and sleek projector stand that perfectly aligns with your Horizon Ultra, ready to watch all your entertainment. Okay, so diving into the picture stuff, the Horizon Ultra is rated at 2300 ISO lumens. And what that means is that it's super bright. It gets that brightness from something called dual light technology, which is actually a mix of laser and LED lights. So it's like getting the best of two worlds for both brightness and color accuracy. It also covers 95.5% of the DCI P3 color space, which seems really fancy, but it just means it can show a ton of real-life colors with professional grade color accuracy. So this is a DLP projector and it uses something called 0.47 DMD chip. It does this cool trick called pixel shifting, where it takes 1080p picture and moves it around really fast to make it look like 4K Ultra HD. And you can project a massive image, anywhere from 40 inches up to 200 inches. And yes, it has HDR, which means it handles all those bright and dark parts of the picture really well. It supports HDR10, HLG, and Dolby Vision. And all that tech names just means you get richer colors and really deep, nice blacks. Now this is something you don't always see on projectors. It has an optical zoom and variable iris. What that means is it can actually zoom the image in or out without losing quality. And it can also like open or close the lens. When the lens opens, you get brighter picture. When it closes, less light gets out. And that means you can get deeper blacks. It's a cool way to fine-tune the picture. The lamp life is pretty good too, rated for 25,000 hours. That's a lot of movies. Once you get it all set up, you land on the Android TV homepage. It runs Android TV 11 and has 32 GB of built-in storage for all your apps. And what's really nice is how snappy it feels. Navigating through the menus is super quick, no lag or waiting around. Plus it has Chromecast built in and AirScreen for easy mirroring from your phone or tablet. And you can even use Google Assistant for smart voice control. However, it doesn't come with Netflix built in, but you can still get it from third-party apps. Let's quickly go through some of the menu options because there's a lot of cool things you can change. Environment adaptation. This is neat. You can turn this on or off, and it automatically brightens or dims the projector laser based on how bright or dark your room is. Then you have iris brightness. This controls the variable iris I just mentioned. If you set it to a 10, the lens opens all the way for the brightest picture, but your blacks might not be as deep. You'll want to find a middle ground that works best for your room and screen. Now you have color mode, you've got options like cinema, vivid, bright, and something called performance mode. Performance mode makes things super bright, but just know it'll turn up the fan quite a bit. Now this is really for the picky people. You can adjust the red, green, and blue settings yourself and even save your own custom settings. Color space, so you've got Auto, DCI-P3 or Rec 709. Auto usually just gets it right for most things. Then we've got Auto Keystone Correction. This is part of the ECA 3.0 magic. It'll try to square up the image if your projector isn't perfectly straight. And this is perfect, especially if you move the projector around, you can set it up to automatically do this each time. Then we have Optical Zoom. This is also pretty cool. It lets you zoom the image in or out based on where your projector is placed. But if you go too far into the digital zoom part, you can start losing those 4K pixels. So first just try and place the projector at the correct location. Image displacement. This lets you move the image to the left, right, up or down. So you have a lot of freedom here to change things. Wall color adaptation. This is super cool. If you don't have a widescreen and are just projecting on, say, a yellow or blue wall, it will measure the wall color and adjust the colors of the picture so they look as accurate as possible. Since I use a widescreen, I don't really need this, but it's a cool feature for everyone to have. Then we also have the advanced keystone settings. You can reset your keystone, have it to auto start when you turn on the projector, or if you accidentally bump into the projector, you can have it automatically set up keystone each time. It also has auto obstacle avoidance and auto screen alignment to square it up on the wall. And here you have the focus settings. You can have it to auto focus when you turn it on or if the projector gets bumped. And projector placement, which is super handy. You can tell the projector if it's on a table in front or on the ceiling or projecting from behind the screen. It'll automatically flip the image the right way up. And you've got so many other settings like HDMI control, Bluetooth visibility, auto eye protection, turbo light. So you can play around with this if you want. Okay, let's talk about the apps. I checked out Apple TV and it totally supports 4K HDR and Dolby Vision. And you can even fine-tune the Dolby Vision settings in here. Choose between Dolby Vision Bright for brighter rooms or Dolby Vision Dark for darker rooms, which gives better blacks. There are also custom settings to play with. Brightness, contrast, color temperature, and more. You can even tell it your screen size for optimal settings. And Disney Plus, yep, that also supports 4K Ultra HD and Dolby Vision. And YouTube, head over to the settings, and under quality, you'll see that it supports 4K and HDR. So all your high quality YouTube content will look great. Now, probably the most popular app for many people, Netflix. This projector is not a Netflix certified projector. So if you go into the Google Play Store, Netflix isn't even available to download. So if you want to use Netflix on this, you'll probably have to download it from a third party or use an external device like an Apple TV or that extra Homatics Google TV stick they give you. That's pretty important to know. During playback, if you hold down the menu button, you can get into some other cool settings. Brightness again, contrast, etc. You can tweak all the basics. Now, if we talk about the picture quality as for overall HDR colors, it looks fantastic. It's a really bright image. The colors are super vibrant, whites are clean, and it has really nice bright parts. It's a very solid performer and gives a great 4K HDR image. Now, since this is a projector and not a OLED TV, the black levels aren't always going to be the absolute best. So the blacks do lean more towards gray rather than super deep black. But like I said earlier, this is not a TV, it's a projector. And it still looks really good. You can play with that iris brightness setting to try and find a balance between brightness and black levels. For Dolby Vision settings, you can have Dolby Vision bright even in a dark room. You can recover more shadow details that way instead of crushing it with Dolby Vision dark. So you'll probably have to play around with these settings yourself to see what you prefer. For sound settings, you've got a few options. You can pick between different sound modes like movie, music, sports, and game. There's also a volume balance, and if you have it hooked up to a bigger sound system, like my Sonos surround set, you can change the digital output from the internal speaker to the optical or HDMI eARC. It also supports DTS HD, Dolby Digital, and Dolby Digital Plus. And for all the people that's a 3D fan, yes, this projector does support 3D. It can handle side-by-side, top-to-bottom 3D, including frame packing, and it can even convert 3D to 2D. You'll just need to grab some of those 3D glasses. Okay, so let's talk about the good stuff and maybe some things to think about. So the good parts. Super clear picture. That 4K and Dolby Vision thing, it makes everything look incredibly sharp, bright, and amazing with the colors, with professional grade accuracy. And it's also really bright. 2300 lumens means you don't have to be in a cave to watch stuff. Daytime viewing, yes, it can handle it. It's a super smart setup. ECA 3.0 is a game changer. Seriously, the autofocus and auto keystone mean you just plop it down and it sets itself up. Then we've got great sound. For a projector, the Harman Kardon speakers are surprisingly good. You get that room-filling sound, which is awesome. Even if you don't use a surround system, this is great. And you can also play some games on it. It actually has pretty low lag, 18 milliseconds in game mode, which is important so your button presses feel instant. Then we've got 3D support, a rare find these days, but it's here and it works well. Then we've got Android TV 11, 32 gigabytes of storage, Chromecast, AirScreen, and Google Assistants make it easy to use. Also, what I really like is the low noise level. At less than 28 decibels, it's pretty quiet, so it won't distract you from your movie. Then the amazing free stand. Getting this high quality and stable stand included for free, which normally costs over $100, is just an unbeatable bonus. And it makes setup a breeze with its hidden cable management. Okay, so we've talked about the good things. Now let's talk about the things to think about or to consider before buying this. And let's start with why the extra stick. So I set it up, I used it, it's really good actually. And I asked XGIMI about it and they said some people just prefer Google TV instead of Android TV. Since this isn't Google TV, but this is. So like for me, it doesn't really matter now because I can just hook this stick up to another like regular TV that doesn't have a smart system and get Google TV there for free. So I get Android TV built in on the projector and Google TV for another screen, which is kind of cool. But for you watching, maybe it's important to have Google TV right there on the projector for its own reasons. like the different interface or how it organizes the content. So it's nice they give you both options. Then Netflix is not built in. Now this is not a deal breaker for me because I don't even use Netflix. I use Plex and other third-party streaming applications. But this is a bit of a bummer for a lot of people. You'll have to download Netflix from a third party, or you have to use an external streaming device if you want to watch Netflix. Now let's talk about the black levels. While the picture quality is super bright and colorful, sometimes in really dark movie scenes, the blacks might just not be as deep as a super fancy TV or an OLED TV. Now, I didn't actually notice this at first, but then I just looked at more reviewers. They actually didn't mention it either in their main reviews, but checking out a lot of comments, I noticed some people mentioning this, and that's why I started to notice it. But honestly, for this projector at this price point, it really didn't bother me at all. It's totally fine for most people. Then we've got the remote. The remote I actually really love. It's super premium in your hand. I only wish it had backlighting so it's easier to see in the dark, so you know when you're watching a movie, and maybe a USB-C charging. That would be nice also. I also kind of wished it had more buttons, perhaps some action buttons. Me personally, I like a lot of buttons. Unfortunately, over the years, remote controls have gone smaller with super less buttons, and that's something I don't understand, but that's just a personal opinion. For the rest, it looks really cool. And lastly, it's still a projector, okay? And that's okay. Even with all its brightness, if you have like direct sunlight blasting onto your wall, just like you see right here, it's still going to wash out the image a lot during the daytime. That's just how projectors work. You don't buy it to replace your TV, you buy it to get that real cinema feeling, something you can really enjoy. And for that, I can totally live with that. So my final thoughts, Look, the XGIMI Horizon Ultra is super impressive. It takes a lot of the headache out of setting up a projector and gives you a really good picture. That's 4K with Dolby Vision just pops, and the brightness makes it much more flexible for different rooms. The sound is a big bonus too. It's got features that projectors costing way more don't have, like Dolby Vision, the optical zoom, plus that professional color accuracy. And with this deal, getting that big discount plus the stand and that extra streaming stick, it makes it really a tempting package. If you've been wanting a projector that feels premium, is easy to use, and delivers a fantastic big screen experience without like breaking the bank for super high-end stuff, this is definitely one to check out. And I just want to mention, XGIMI has sent me this whole package. I am not getting paid for the review at all, but I am allowed to keep this whole set, which is amazing to me, but I'm giving my honest review. So if you want to learn more or like check it out for yourself, I'll put the links down in the description below. They have a USA link and an EU link, so you can check the right one for you. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, maybe hit that like button or like subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. It really helps out the channel. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.